Khamzat Chimaev has not only screwed me over once, but 2 times in a row. It is not happening again. Khamzat Chimaev takes on Dricus Plessis for the undisputed UFC Middleweight Championship belt in August, and I'm not falling for it again. Okay, I'm not falling for it again. Don't you know? Dricus Plessis has Toon Force. I mean, he's the middleweight champion of the world. He should be the middleweight GOAT in a few years. I, quite frankly, don't give a rat's butthole. In fact, I give less than a rat's butthole. I give less than an ant's butthole. There is no shot. No chance. I don't care if Dricus Plessis got the greatest nasal surgery known to mankind and now has Merab Dvalishvili-esque cardio. I am not falling for it again. I'm not getting got again. I'm telling you right now, it is not happening. I'm taking Khamzat Chimaev to win this fight comfortably. Comfortably. You sit there, baffled and blown away by the confidence. And then you ask me, how is Khamzat Chimaev going to do it? I would love to tell you, but let me give you a visual representation as well. So a lot of people are wondering, how in the world is Khamzat Chimaev going to pull this off? What's he going to do to beat DDP, the current UFC middleweight champion of the world? Well, let me tell you, envision right now that I'm Mark Goddard. I'm Mark Goddard, and I'm standing in between the two bad MFers, okay? We got DDP on this side. We got Khamzat Chimaev on this side. Okay, I'm giving the countdown. Fight, are you ready? Fight, are you ready? Let's get it up. Pause. Right there, right before Mark Goddard finishes his let's get it on and then collapse to let the fighters know to initiate the combat. I'm going to switch on over to Khamzat Chimaev to show you what Khamzat Chimaev is going to do after Mark Goddard collapses his hands. Immediately after Mark Goddard collapses his hands. So think about it. Imagine Mark Goddard is right there. He's on his way to initiate the combat. All of a sudden, I'm over at Khamzat Chimaev. Mark Goddard goes, fight, are you ready? Fight, are you ready? Let's get it on. Smacks his thing. All of a sudden, I'm literally Khamzat Chimaev darting across the damn octagon, and I'm literally diving headfirst at DDP's legs. I'm taking him down the way DDP... You guys remember when DDP took down Israel Adesanya? And it was literally like him just like falling on Izzy like this and somehow like grabbing one of his legs and just tripping him up. That is exactly what Khamzat Chimaev needs to do. He needs to just throw himself at DDP, lunge across the damn octagon like he usually does, and get DDP down at any cost necessary. Now, a lot of you are going to sit here and you're going to say, what if that initial shot doesn't work? What if DDP stuffs that takedown? What if DDP throws a knee? What if DDP does this or that? Well, he won't. But just in case he does, let me put some ease at your mind. One of the very few arguments that I get from DDP fans is Khamzat Chimaev is not going to be able to eat DDP's knees. DDP is going to throw one of the most vicious knees right up the center as soon as Khamzat Chimaev dives for his legs, and it's going to change the complete trajectory of this fight. I am sorry, but I'm going to have to completely disagree with that take. DDP, we're talking about DDP who weaponizes his uncoordination. Okay? We're talking about DDP, the guy who is literally known for being uncharacteristic. Okay, you cannot train for this guy. DDP is not timing a knee right up the center and hitting Khamzat Chimaev right on the chin to the point where it's going to change the trajectory of this fight. In fact, I fully support DDP not throwing any knees in this fight. If you throw a knee, that is essentially giving this guy, Khamzat Chimaev, a free leg to take you down from. Okay, a free angle, a free shot, whatever the hell you want to call it. That is free game for Khamzat Chimaev. I mean, he's salivating just thinking about DDP potentially throwing knees. I mean, look at him. Look at him. He is literally salivating over the fact that DDP might potentially throw a knee. Please, DDP, don't throw a knee. Please. And listen, a lot of people are going to say, well, you want DDP to lose. Why don't you want him to throw a knee? I honestly don't mind if DDP wins. I'm just saying. Khamzat Chimaev is going to be the winner.
DDP should not focus on throwing knees unless he plans on having one of the most perfectly timed, crispy knees you've ever seen. You know, I'm talking Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren type knee. Okay, I'm talking perfection. I'm talking line it up at the exact moment, at the exact right time, hitting the exact point of the chin that's going to knock out Khamzat Chimaev. That's not happening. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's hard to make a claim that Khamzat Chimaev's cardio is better than what it used to be in his, few previous fights. But I am going to argue for that. I do believe that Khamzat Chimaev has been prepping his cardio. He's changed up his diet. He is in a 185-pound weight class that is not going to deplete him as much as a 175-pound cut did. Okay, all of this stuff, it equates over to being a benefit to Khamzat Chimaev. This, DDP, as strong as he is not going to have a crazy strength advantage over Khamzat Chimaev. In fact, I'd argue that Khamzat Chimaev may be slightly stronger than DDP. We'll figure that out pretty soon. But to think that Khamzat Chimaev threw Kamaru Usman around like a doll, especially in that first round, we're talking Kamaru Usman, the UFC welterweight ex-champ of the world. One of the UFC welterweight GOATs, okay? Kamaru Usman is one of the strongest champions we've had, bro. This guy is pure strength. And Khamzat Chimaev just went in there and made him look like a little kid. And yes, it was on short notice, and yes, it was at 185 pounds, and I know, Kamaru Usman fights at 170 and this and that, but dude, that is some scary stuff. And I rate Kamaru Usman pretty high, bro. The Kamaru Usman that fought Khamzat Chimaev, I still think was a very good version of Kamaru Usman. It wasn't prime Kamaru Usman, but a very, very good version of the former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. And it's just stuff like that where, DDP, yes, he went in, he finished Israel Adesanya. Yes, he went in, he dominated Strickland the second time. But dude, Khamzat Chimaev is not Israel Adesanya. Khamzat Chimaev is not Sean Strickland. Khamzat Chimaev presents a completely different 180-degree different challenge. Okay, this is on the whole other side of the earth. And that is what scares me the most for Dricus du Plessis. Not necessarily scares me, but makes me a little bit nervous to pick Dricus du Plessis. Like I said, man, kudos to Dricus. I love his style. He's exciting to watch. I love watching Dricus fight. And this pay-per-view right here, I mean, if tickets weren't absurd, I would be going and seeing this in person. Okay, I would be going and seeing this in person. But I'm not going to. I'm going to sit here at the comfort of my own home, probably hop on stream, watch it with you guys, and really enjoy myself. You know what I mean? Regardless, I'm going to be watching this fight, and I'm probably going to rewatch it at least 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 or 5 times, depending on how short it is or how long it is. And I'm talking that month alone. Who knows how many times I'm going to rewatch it later on in life. This is going to be an absolutely generational fight. And listen, I don't want to count Dricus du Plessis out completely. This whole banterous joke of, oh, well, he's got Toon Force and it's hard to beat, Dricus du Plessis because he's this and that and you have no idea what he's going to be throwing and he's so uncharacteristic and it almost makes you second guess your own mixed martial arts and your own strategy and your own technique. Dricus is not going to be an easy fight for Khamzat Chimaev. Dricus is strong. Dricus has great cardio. Dricus, we've already mentioned it a million times, but he's just unorthodox. And that is all stuff that I think Khamzat Chimaev is not going to adjust to very easily. Okay, that is definitely going to take some adjusting, especially if Khamzat Chimaev does not follow my strategy and just bullets his way across that damn octagon as soon as Mark Goddard throws his hands down, or whoever's reffing this fight, Herb Dean, Steve Mazzagatti, whoever. Hey, shout out Steve Mazzagatti. But I do truly believe that this is Khamzat's fight to lose. I mean, if Khamzat goes in there with his regular style, attacks DDP, takes him to deep waters. It's not like Dricus du Plessis just has unlimited cardio like Merab, where he's going to come back even stronger in the 4th and 5th round. Yes, Dricus does have great cardio. Okay, I'm not taking that away from him at all, and I'm sure his nose and nasal surgery or whatever he got done, I'm sure that improved his cardio significantly too. And you saw how badly he beat Strickland in that second fight. But you cannot sit here and deny that Khamzat Chimaev is a cardio sapper. I mean, he is an absolute machine. He's a unit, and he is such an annoyance to deal with, especially in those earlier rounds. And if it gets to a point where he starts putting Dricus in very bad positions, he starts taking mount, he starts neck cranking him, face cranking, kind of how Khabib did to, kind of like how Khamzat did to Robert Whittaker, where he literally broke his jaw. Okay? If that's how the first maybe 2 rounds goes, if Khamzat Chimaev can win another round, this is his fight. But what does scare me is Khamzat Chimaev going all in on those first 2 rounds. That 3rd round comes around, he slows down a little bit, gives it up to Dricus. That 4th round comes around, Dricus starts getting a little bit stronger. His cardio is showing out a little bit better than Khamzat Chimaev's. And all of a sudden, we got a tied fight going into the 5th round, and Khamzat Chimaev is gassed, and Dricus du Plessis looks like he's been here before, because he has. Okay, he's had 2 5-round wars with, the Dutchman. Not the Dutchman, sorry. That's what he calls Dricus. Sean Strickland. And that's... Khamzat Chimaev hasn't had that 5-rounder in the UFC. He hasn't had that deep 4th and 5th round experience, those championship level, rounds. Those rounds where you really have to dig deep. That is what's unknown about Khamzat Chimaev, and that is why DDP has a great chance to win this fight. But I don't think any of that is going to matter. I think Khamzat Chimaev is coming in here really prepared to take advantage of this opportunity. This guy was supposed to be a UFC champion at least a year or 2 ago. Okay, he was supposed to be fighting a lot more frequently than he did. Sickness came along. He couldn't get into the country. He had issues with visas. He had issues with this, with that, the president, the dictator, whatever was going on with Khamzat Chimaev's, career and life. But it looks like all that is finally getting settled now. It looks like Khamzat Chimaev has turned a new leaf. And I do truly believe that UFC 319 is Khamzat Chimaev's fight to lose. Okay, Khamzat Chimaev should absolutely win this fight, but it's his fight to lose. If he goes in there, if he gasses himself out, if he gives up a bad position to Dricus, if he gets finished, if he makes a bad move in his first championship fight, there's not much else you can do. You know what I mean? Dricus is experienced, and he's going to take advantage of it. But I do truly believe that Khamzat will go in. He will dictate those first 2 rounds. And he may even finish Dricus in that 3rd round. Who knows? Dricus is tough. He's hard to finish. But you never want to count anything out with Khamzat Boris Chimaev. Guys, let me know what you think. Do you guys think Khamzat can go in there and finally win a UFC championship belt? Originally, the goal was a 175-pound belt, and then I'm a dumbass. Sorry, guys. I meant 170-pound belt. Not 175 pounds. I meant 170-pound belt. Okay, I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry. He was going to move up. Who knows if Khamzat Chimaev is ever going to go back down? I feel like that weight cut is very detrimental to him. I think it puts a lot on his body. I think 185 pounds is his home, and I think he should just win the belt and focus on defending it. Okay, no need to focus on going down. No need to focus on going up. Stay active. Fight twice a year. He's got plenty of defenses coming up. You got Reiner de Ritter, who's making his way up the rankings. Robert Whittaker, who may get, a second opportunity if he wins a few fights. Nasruddin Imavov is hot. Caio Barrio is hot. I mean, you got a lot of up-and-coming killers at 185 pounds. Anthony Hernandez, the Killer Gorilla still kind of in there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of opportunity. The welterweight division is deep, but the 185-pound division, the middleweight division, is also deep. And Khamzat Chimaev, he's got plenty of work to do. But yeah, let me know. What do you guys think? You guys think Khamzat Chimaev is going to win the belt? You guys think Dricus du Plessis is just too good? You guys think his Toon Force is gonna prevail for him? Let me know down in the comments below. Leave a like while you're down there. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And man, it is good to be back. Let's go.